Voices of Immigration in America. This is part of a three-part series on immigration. In Part 1, we hear from immigrants, each with a different story, different status, and a different sense of belonging. In Part 2, we will hear from long-standing members of the community, all citizens. In Part 3, we will bring the two groups together for a conversation. Part 1. Immigrants tell their stories. The setting: a community center in one of the many sanctuary cities in the United States. A banner reads, "Voices of Immigration, the Immigrant's Perspective." The moderator, a community activist and organizer, provides introductory remarks. Thank you all for being here. Tonight's conversation is not about policy or politics. It's about experience, your experience. We've asked you to speak honestly about your lives, your choices, and your place in this country. This is a sanctuary city, so there is no threat of deportation. Feel free to speak openly. Remember, this is not a debate. Won't be any rebuttals from citizens or commentary from reporters. Tonight is about hearing each of your stories. Farah, let's start with you. Farah, a legal immigrant, became a naturalized citizen after a lot of patience and years of hard work. She says that she has been in the United States for nearly 15 years, that she spent over 10 of those working to become a citizen. She came here legally. She went to school during the day. She worked nights and weekends. She paid her own way. She came here on a student visa and later got her green card. She filled out all of the paperwork, paid all the fees, met the residency requirements, and passed the English test and the civics exam. She has earned her place. Farah is a teacher. She volunteers at a refugee center at night. She believes in compassion. But she also believes in fairness. What she sees happening now isn't fair. People who crossed illegally are getting free food, housing, healthcare, legal aid. She had none of that. She didn't ask for handouts. She asked for a chance, an opportunity. She says that when she voices her opinion, she's told to stay quiet, that speaking up makes her cruel. She thinks it just makes her honest. When people talk about immigrants, they aren't talking about people like Farah. They're talking about the undocumented, the illegals, the people breaking the law, those getting handouts. Farah says she's tired of watching people skip the line that she waited in for over a decade. Rosa resents Farah's comment about skipping the line. She quips back, "You think there was a line for me to stand in? You think I was going to wait 10 years? Rosa is almost 50 years old. She is Mexican and has 4 children. She says that she made a choice. She had a plan. She knew exactly what she was doing. That was 20 years ago. She was 29 at the time. Rosa says that not only was she young, but they were poor. She made her decision when she found out she was pregnant with her second child. She knew they weren't supposed to be here. She knew it was wrong. But she also knew what having a baby here would mean. She had heard the term anchor baby long before she ever stepped foot in Texas. She knew that if she gave birth on this side of the border, she'd have a reason to stay, a shield, a loophole. She had the baby in a county hospital. No money, no insurance, no questions. Just a birth certificate stamped to the United States of America. That piece of paper changed everything. She's had 2 more children since then. They're all citizens, all except Luis. Rosa got government assistance. She still does. How else is she supposed to take care of her family? She works, but she doesn't make enough money. Rosa isn't looking for sympathy. She knew exactly what she was doing. She'd do it all over again. Luis says quietly, "And I'm the one who's paying for it." Luis is Rosa's oldest child. He's the only one that's not a citizen. He's lived here since he was 6 years old. He doesn't remember Mexico. He remembers Little League, spelling bees and fireworks on the 4th of July. He remembers being told he could be anything he wanted to be. And then he learned he couldn't. Luis graduated from college. He has a good job, helps his mother and his younger siblings. But he's not a citizen. He's a dreamer. He benefits from DACA, but that just means he can stay for now. He can't vote. He's afraid to travel outside the country because he might not be able to come back. Luis loves this country. He's given it everything he has, and done so proudly. But he's still seen as temporary, as conditional, as someone who might not be welcome tomorrow. Luis isn't asking for pity or sympathy. He's asking for a path, for a way forward. Feels like he's living in a kind of purgatory. American enough to pay taxes, American enough to serve in the military, but not American enough to belong. Mateo says to Luis, "At least you've got papers. Sort of. Mateo's been here for 10 years. He's in his early 30s and is from Honduras. Back home in Honduras, he had a home. He had food. He had family. But he didn't have opportunity. So he crossed the Rio Grande. No papers. No promises. Just a plan. Mateo came here to make money. To work. That's it. He didn't claim asylum. He doesn't plan to. He's what they call a gotaway. No record of him at all. Mateo works landscaping, construction, dishwashing. He says it's not hard to find work. He doesn't need a resume. He doesn't even need an ID that matches his name. Just shows up and keeps quiet. They don't ask questions. They know. Everyone knows. Mateo splits rent with a few friends. They live comfortably. Not fancy, but fine. He makes enough money to pay his rent, save for his future, and to send money home to his family. His parents live better than they ever have before. He's proud of that. Mateo isn't hiding. He's not starving. He's not asking for anything. He came here to work and make money, and he does. He says that people think undocumented means desperate. It doesn't. It means uninvited. He knew that. He came anyway. Mateo isn't interested in citizenship. He doesn't even want a green card. He just wants to work. He didn't come here to be part of America. When he's saved enough money to build a house in Honduras, he'll go back home. Farah turns to Mateo and asks angrily, "And you think that's fair? That you can just walk in and take jobs from people who are doing things the right way?" Mateo doesn't care what she thinks is fair. He says he's not hurting anyone. He's just working. He's working hard to support his family back home. The moderator says, "Let's move on." He turns to Diego and says, "Diego, why don't you tell us your story?" Diego, a 20-something from Venezuela, says that his story is similar, but that he did claim asylum. He admits that he came for economic opportunity, not for safety, but says that filing for asylum was smart. It will be years before he has a hearing. In the meantime, he's entitled to all sorts of benefits. Diego also crossed the Rio Grande illegally. All he had was a backpack and a story. He was coached by a fixer on how to fabricate an asylum claim. They told him what to say. To make claims about political threats, persecution, fear. It's the usual script. He said it. He signed it. Now he lives rent-free in a shelter that's nicer than his parents' house back home, gets 3 meals a day, free health care, transportation vouchers, and legal assistance. Even a free cell phone. No rent, no bills. Diego works cash jobs, rideshare and food delivery mostly. He has no debt, no boss, no paperwork, just hustle. People say it's fraud. He says it's strategy. He says he's not dangerous. He's not desperate. He's just smart. Like Mateo, he sends money home. His family thinks he's a genius. Farah is getting angrier by the minute. Hearing how entitled these people are makes her blood boil. She starts to say something, but the moderator cuts her off. The moderator says, "Thank you, Diego. And now we'll hear from Arturo." He's been in the U.S. undocumented for over 20 years, so he probably has a lot to say. Arturo, a 40-year-old man from Guatemala, chuckles. He says, "People act like being undocumented is a curse. It's not. In fact, it's really no big deal. If you're smart, being undocumented can work to your advantage." Arturo, whose nickname is Turi, came here from Guatemala 20 years ago. No visa, no papers. It's just a cousin's cell number and a fake name. He's worked in restaurants, at hotels, and in casinos. He's rented apartments and sublet bedrooms to cover the rent. He's flipped houses. He's bought and sold used cars. You name it, he's done it. It's easy if you know how to work the system. Turi says he's got 3 names, 2 phones, and 1 van. Lately he's been working construction. He gets paid in cash. Pays cash, no taxes, no trail, no problem. You think he's the only one, yeah, right. Half the guys on the job site are undocumented. The other half pretend not to notice. People say he's stealing. He says he's surviving. Arturo doesn't want citizenship. He doesn't want to pledge allegiance. Just wants to live the American dream without the burdens of being an American. Luis, visibly uncomfortable, says to Arturo, "You make it harder for the rest of us. People see you and think we're all like that." Arturo smirks and says, "I'm not here to be liked." The moderator looks at Miguel, an illegal and a hardened criminal, and says, "Miguel, you've been awfully quiet. What would you like to say?" Miguel, cold and detached, says that he's been deported 3 times. He keeps coming back. Not for freedom, not for family, for business. Miguel says that he moves product and he moves people. He knows the routes. He knows the gaps. Knows which border agents look the other way. Miguel's done time. It's more than once. Assault, weapons, trafficking. He's been in county, federal, and ICE detention. He says it doesn't matter. Jail is just a pause. He brags that he's run crews from inside and made deals from payphones. He's walked out with more connections than he walked in with. You think he's afraid of ICE? Hell no. He's bribed ICE. He's not afraid of prison either. He's used it to his advantage. Miguel doesn't care about papers. He doesn't care about the law. He cares about leverage and about connections. He thinks this country is soft. He takes advantage of that. Farah mumbles under her breath. He's the reason people hate us. The moderator asks if anyone else would like to speak. When no one comes forward, he thanks them for their participation and for being so candid. As people are leaving, he reminds them that the following week they'll talk with members of the community, citizens, and hear what they have to say. And then, after that, they'll bring the two groups together for a conversation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please watch the other videos in the series.